If you are like the hundreds of people that have stepped outside and called our studio asking about the kind of crazy cloud formations out there, you're not alone. If you're wondering why the last couple of days there's been these crazy streaks of clouds across the sky, be fanning out like this, yeah, you're not alone. A lot of people wondering what is bringing these clouds, what's causing them. There's a real answer why.
I'm here to give you testimony that chemtrails, they're not contrails, are indeed real. They're spraying almost every day.
Musician and actor Jussie Smollett sat down with me and responds to those who doubt.
I'm pissed off.
What is it that has you so angry?
Look what has happened. You know, look what has happened.
What happened?
I was looking as I was crossing the intersection. I noticed smoke.
Did you get any kind of description?
It had marks on it, like spots on it. And I started screaming, which I hadn't obviously.
You hadn't noticed it before? A potential break in the case. The police have gone through a lot of video and they were able to capture an image.
For me, when that was released, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Have you seen that image?
I saw. Mm-hmm.
And do you believe that they could possibly be?
I do.
What is it about their size, or why do you feel that they could possibly be?
It's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth. You don't even want to see the truth.
We're in very great danger from the pollution that's coming down over us. And we've been led astray by the military-industrial complex. And they're responsible for the cloud's creation and weather manipulation programs. They're dark operations. That's why they're not out in the media.
How can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth. Listen, if I tell the truth, that's it, because it's the truth. Mm-hmm. I don't have any doubt in my mind. Never did.
Why did you hesitate to want to call the police?
I can't tell you honestly. There's a level of pride there.
Excuse me, can you help me? I've reported this to the EPA. I testified at a hearing, the FAA, the DEQ, the FBI. There's nothing that can you take a report for me for airplane pollution? No, I can't. Why can't you do that? It's a crime against humanity.
She just walked away from me.
That was disappointing. That says a lot about the place that we are in our country right now. And it's unfair. It's unfair to the investigation. I wanted them to see. I wanted them to see what this was.
Do you see this? All the airplane pollution? I've reported this to every agency on the planet.
The next time that you see someone report something.
Excuse me, can you help me?
And you say to them, well, why you wait until now? Just remember that mine was reported right away.
What we're seeing now, and I first could not believe it, and I started looking at the skies, and these are not normal. They're not natural. There's something going on. I don't know who it is or why they're doing it. All I can testify is it's not natural and it's not normal. It's got to be some outside influence doing that.
Air Force wrote a book, and on the first page of the book, they said, we're going to control the weather by the year 2025.
Valuable information.
I asked them, what are they doing spraying these chemicals on the public? I said, there's violation of Code 50 USC 1520, which prohibits the American government from experimenting on the U.S. citizens with chemical agents.
Smollett also says he has been troubled by inaccurate claims. What other ones had you heard that were inaccurate?
Inaccurate, false statements had already been put out there.
So a contrail is nothing but jet exhaustion. So the exhaust, it spits out this very warm, moist air. And we know that those jets are flying high, and so the water vapor that's being spit out the back of them...
It's bull. It's bull.
They condense. They do something. They meet up with other droplets, and they actually do something called coalesce. And that's when they grab onto other droplets, and they become bigger and bigger, and they freeze. And that's what causes them to become visible.
Nobody's going to question that.
When they're big, all of the droplets will combine, become visible, and they're up there in the sky for us to see, and it looks like an artificial cloud.
I so resent that narrative.
these beautiful contrails have just continued to stick in the sky. And I think because they've stuck around so long, people aren't used to that.
That's ridiculous. You do such a disservice when you lie about things like this. It's offensive, and I absolutely resent that narrative.
The contrails, not the chemical, the contrails occur because of cold air, minus 30. It takes a high altitude, around 30,000 feet plus. There's carbon dioxide and water vapor in that exhaust. That turns to ice crystals, and that's what you see, the white stream behind it. Those white crystals of ice warm up, dissolve, and the smoke goes away. And it never lasts more than a minute.
That's how crazy it is to think that what we're looking in the sky is actually condensation trails.
That's not cool to me. That's not okay. It's just not okay. It's just not okay.
And there is no doubt in your mind.
I am forever changed.
What do you feel people need to hear the most from this story?
I think that what people need to hear is just the truth.
As a wildlife biologist, I've been watching the ecosystem collapse. When you lose all your stream organisms, when you have aluminum overload in your streams, you're killing your microbial bacteria and you're disrupting the entire ecosystem. So it goes way beyond just a little bit of pollution.
We live in a society where you are considered somehow to be weak, and we are, as a people, are not weak. Learn to fight. I understand how difficult it will be. We have the right and the responsibility. And I don't just mean like learn to fight. I mean, learn to fight. Learn to be a fighter. I am not advocating violence at all. So let's be clear about that. If you're gonna die, fight until you do. Because if you don't fight, you have no chance.
Many times I've spoken about chemtrails, and I get this blank look. What are you talking about? I'm saying, look up. As a pilot, before I fly, I look up. And so, boy, they're really out there working.
To make something meaningful out of the things that happen to us, good and bad. I still want to believe, with everything that has happened, that there's something called justice. Because if I stop believing that, then what's it all for?